They banged on my door just after sunrise. 3 knocks, sharp, impatient, the kind that said, "You owe us." Through the peephole, I saw my sister Jenna, red coat, suitcase in one hand, a toddler hanging off the other. Behind her stood her husband, Mark, carrying another suitcase, wearing that smug half-smile he saved for when he thought he'd won. I didn't open the door. They called me name, shouted, then silence. A minute later, paper rustled, the sound of the note being pulled from the doorframe. Imagine Jenna's expression as she read it line by line, her face shifting from confusion to panic. Then the scream. It came muffled through the walls, but clear enough to make me smile. Jenna was the golden one, the kind of daughter who could burn down the kitchen and still get praised for trying. I learned early that I was the filler, useful when needed, invisible otherwise. After our parents passed, that imbalance only deepened. She got the house, the car, and the family's sympathy. I got responsibility that you're the practical one, she'd say, dumping her messes into my hands as if it were some loyal employee, not her sister. So when she announced 2 weeks before Christmas that she and Mark were taking a spontaneous holiday getaway, I knew what was coming. "You'll babysit kids while we travel," she said, as if it were already decided. "No," I said, setting down my tea calm. Final, her jaw had twitched. "It's just a week, Claire. You love the kids." "I do, but imminent your stand-in parent. Hire someone." Mark chuckled low and condescending. "Come on, it's Christmas. Don't be difficult." The word difficult hit me harder than it should have. It was the same tone our father used when I disagreed with him. The same tone Jenna had perfected. When I refused again, the family group chat lit up that night. Aunt Marge called me selfish. Cousin Ryan sent a paragraph about holiday spirit. Even my godmother chimed in that you're all those kids have right now. By midnight, I was the villain in a play I hadn't auditioned for. I didn't sleep. I just stared at the ceiling, replaying years of similar moments. The birthdays I hosted because Jenna was too busy, the bills she forgot I paid, the times she cried her way out of accountability, leaving me to fix the fallout. This time, I decided I'd let her face the consequences herself. But vengeance has its own timing. It requires silence, precision, and patience. The next morning, I called Mark's office. His assistant, sweet girl, easily chatty, told me they'd be gone for 2 weeks. Not one. International trip. Unreachable that they'd lied again. I spent the next 2 days preparing. Not emotionally, strategically. First, I changed my phone number quietly without announcement. Then, I called the property manager, told them I'd be out of town, and notices were authorized to stay in my home. The locks replaced, the cameras installed. On Christmas Eve, I wrote the note. 7 sentences. Nothing cruel, just clear. "Jenna, you assumed I'd drop me life again. You never asked. You just decided I'm done being your safety net. The spare keys are gone. The house is mine. The kids deserve parents who plan, not a sister who patches your chaos. Enjoy your trip, Claire." I slipped I Tinto the door frame before dawn. Then I left. Not far, just far enough. A cozy in 2 towns over where the only sound was the crackle of the fire and the soft hum of carols. By mid-morning, I got a message from an unknown number. Jenna, that she'd found a way to borrow someone's phone. "How did you do this?" "We were stranded with the kids and no one to watch them." "You're heartless." I didn't treply. An hour later, Mom would be shamed. That one almost made me laugh because if Mom were alive, she'd have done exactly what I did. By evening, the family chat was chaos again. They called me vindictive, cruel, selfish. I read every word, then archive the thread. That it's fascinating how people rewrite history when you stop letting them use you. Suddenly, every favor you gave becomes an obligation. Every no becomes betrayal. But I felt still peaceful even. While Jenna scrambled for last-minute childcare, I watched the snowfall outside my window. The soft glow of the inlights reflecting off the glass. The world looked clean, untouched. And for the first time in years, I wasn't carrying her chaos. Later, I heard she missed her flight. The kids cried. Mark blamed her. She blamed me. It didn't matter. They were finally facing each other instead of hiding behind me. That was the real revenge. Not the note, not the silence, but the mirror I'd forced them to look into. Family doesn't fall apart when you say no. It falls apart when you've been saying yes for too long. And as her scream echoed in my head that morning, I realized it wasn't the sound of pain. It was the sound of a woman finally realizing she couldn't control me anymore.